7:30 a.m. 1039 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I am your host, Kelsey Huff. I'm co-host Richie sitting to the left of me, and Pops on the opposite mic from us. We have got a jam-packed show, some quarterback conversation, some battle for Alabama from the post-spring game now. Spring game was last Saturday. There's spring game still happening today. Auburn having their spring game today. We got the Birmingham Stallions, their home opener. First home opener for Coach AJ McCarron over there.
That's weird to say that.
I know, right? It is. And there's just so much going all across the state of Alabama today. Of course, Richie, you got the Morgan Wallen gear on. You head down to Tuscaloosa today?
Headed to T-Town in just a few hours.
Me and Dad took
small little gathering of friends and family getting together to.
Me and Pops took the lower concert today, I guess. Dwight Yoakam's ZZ Top. We took the lower lowest tier of that at the Orion Amphitheater today in Huntsville.
Mr. Dwight Yoakam.
Mr. Dwight Yoakam. They're like, I say, what's left is ZZ Top and Dwight Yoakam, but it still should be a great day.
I'm going to fit right in. I'm going to be like one of the other thousands of old people at the concert.
Only the young guy, man. That's not usually a thing at the concert anymore.
I'm taking the kiddo, and we're rolling down to T-Town, and Ella Langley is going.
I know she's the opener, right?
She's
that'll be a good opener.
It will be.
I don't know. She's pretty to look at.
Yep.
Should be a fun day here on the Off the Bench College Football Show, as well as the whole Saturday here in Alabama, not just North Alabama, but just a jam-packed day in all sorts of ways. We also have the NFL draft coming up next week. I think I want to talk about some sleepers today that we could see. I don't know if you have any sleeper picks picked out for you, Richie, on who you think might be a later round star that could turn out to be a solid or good player in the NFL. Pops, I'm sure you might have the same over there. But all in all, just the amount of topics we have today, just going in all sorts of directions. Sarkisian talking about how the rev share could be wasted in this new era of college football with the positions, on what positions really don't affect you in the first season. And they really need, a couple years under their belt to get that going. So all about not wasting money now in this era of rev share with the NIL and college football. But back to Alabama A-Day here. So Keelon Russell, Austin Mack. Okay, these were the two big guys that we're looking at over the spring game, as we couldn't watch it on TV, as we kind of had to hear from sources, figure out what actually went on A-Day. Of course, the Noah Rogers injury at wide receiver. It's going to set Bama back a little bit in the wide receiver room, but if any injuries had to have happened, the wide receiver room might be one of the deepest rooms on the roster, with Sedarian Morgan, Latia Brooks, Ryan Coleman-Williams, a lot of names to watch there as we see the Noah Rogers injury happen. But just Keelon Russell and Austin Mack kind of took the show, and where this quarterback battle was heading into this spring game. Now we're kind of seeing that Keelon Russell had this incredible game that a lot of people almost expected him to have this in a way of just the pure talent that we've heard and we've seen in clips, and what could actually happen with Keelon Russell and his comparisons to other quarterbacks all across the board. Carl hitting us up on YouTube. Roll Tide roll. That's how the feeling is this morning.
Good morning, Carl.
As Richie, I'm hoping that you are going to flood the stadium with red tonight.
No. I've got. You're
going to let the orange take over Tuscaloosa.
Oh no, there's no chance that orange takes over Tuscaloosa. There is a running bet with some of my friends of whether or not he actually sings TN.
I think he will.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you got here.
Does he get booed completely off stage if he sings TN?
No, do it.
So I'm kind of wondering. I saw some stuff where they were showing a Morgan Wallen jersey in Bama. Yes. Is he going to wear that?
The University of Alabama has released multiple Instagram photos. One is they gave him a locker room sign and a customized jersey with number 7 on it for him. And then the baseball team did the same thing. I highly doubt he comes out wearing crimson. I still have some bets going on who he walks out with. The walkout has become part of the lore.
This going on with their betting of who he's gonna walk out with.
Do they really have a betting line on it?
I think they do have a betting line. I think Nick Saban's on there. Ty Simpson is on there. Yeah. There's maybe some current players. I don't know if they will let them do that or not. I'm not sure.
I couldn't see
pretty much get away with whatever the heck they want in NIL.
Okay, here's
except for smoking pot. You
You-
can't do that.
you said something about second round sleepers, third round
Yeah, yeah.
sleepers, late, the Saturday, Sunday NFL draft sleepers. Roll Tide Willie.
Oh, that would be good. Kels, you just went blank. You talking about?
No. Yeah, him and Drewski. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
No. Or the dude,
Roll Tide Willie hangs around.
Nacho Hammer dude would be pretty awesome too.
No, see, nobody knows who he is. No, he didn't have.
we
Like,
know
he's got more pictures on Instagram and the internet than Willie does.
No.
Yeah, but we've met the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a little easier to say that. Yeah, we know who he is.
I mean, you
we've
walk
met
around the
guy.
quad on any Saturday morning game day,
Yeah,
you see the
You walk around the
Nacho Hammer guy.
stadium, you see him on the bottom level. I mean,
Yeah.
we know who he is, but
Right,
does
yeah.
he have the following of Roll Tide Willie? Probably not, because Roll Tide Willie was hanging out with Drewski.
Yeah, so you could see Drewski and Roll Tide Willie coming out side by side.
What if you see Drewski?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I don't know if Drewski, I don't know if Drewski's a Bama fan or not. I'm not sure.
I mean, Brewski?
Drewski.
Which one is that? Hold on. Is that the bourbon guy?
No, that's the big black guy
What's that?
comedian.
Oh, I don't know.
That does all the crazy.
Why not the comedian
I'll
that does
explain
shoot, I'm going Jeremiah, Jamie,
you're talking about Funny Mane.
Funny Mane. Why not? He would be a good pick.
I don't know.
All right, guys, we got to get back on schedule.
Yeah,
We'll have
okay.
All right.
we'll have an actual segment later on in the show discussing. You want to hit us up on the radio side after the first hour. You can listen to us on, of course, 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM in Jocks, Huntsville, here locally here in North Alabama, or you can hit us up on iHeartRadio at 7:30 a.m. Jocks, Huntsville. So back to the conversation today. Austin Mack still was not disappointing. I think we knew what we were getting from Austin Mack as well. He's got a little bit of an injury going on that doesn't make him as mobile, but we saw some good flashes of both quarterbacks. Right now, I'm still heavily in set of Keelon's too good to keep off the field to this job. So that's not me saying that Austin Mack is not going to be a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but I think that Keelon might be better right now for Alabama to put him on the field, for Grubb to put him on the field and let him get working through the first couple of weeks of the season.
They were showing. I got to see a few videos of Keelon Muscle, as we accidentally called him last week. It might be the best nickname that you could get.
Keelon Muscle. Did I do it?
It's not better than the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah,
It's an area in Morgan.
but they were talking about his footwork, right. and that even at his age, and yes, this isn't his first season down there. You know, he was highly touted for a reason. He's a good quarterback for a reason. He's possibly the starting quarterback at the University of Alabama for a reason. But they were talking about how at his age, his footwork and how quickly he shuffled out, but kept his head downfield, and with just a flick of the wrist was throwing 15, 20-yard passes, hopefully to wide open receivers, because our receiving core is pretty good this season. The question is still out about the running back position. I wonder truthfully about this quarterback position falling back on how good is this offensive line. If this offensive line can block good enough, is Austin Mack the better pocket quarterback?
Yeah, sitting back and throwing.
But if the offensive line, which appears to have been take the best player from about 7 different teams and bring them in, is what it, for lack of a better word, is if they're still trying to patch this together, is having someone like Keelon that can shuffle his way out of trouble pretty easily, it looks like, or at least, Lord, he looked like he was gliding out there at one point. Is he the better quarterback for the, not necessarily the better quarterback, take the ball, hike the ball, throw the ball to a guy, but the better quarterback given the situation?
Well, I mean, we've discussed a lot, even last year, that the O-line setup last year was built. It was built to pass. Okay?
Man, we thought we were going to be awesome at O-line last year.
It wasn't built to do certain things in the offense that I think a lot of Bama fans wanted to see. The running, of course, a little bit of mobileness with the quarterback. It wasn't necessarily built for that. Those guys were built to block and stay where they were at. They weren't meant to move. They're not agile. They're pure strength. Okay. And that's what last year's O-line was set up to be. This year, they're kind of looking, they took a step back. they had a lot of guys leave. Okay, Michael Kerr is the only returning starter on this offensive line group. So the issue that to be had at hand now is you're not really getting the experience back. These guys aren't gelled together. You're only seeing that we're building from the ground up with offensive linemen to a point to where we have to decide now, what do we actually want to do on this offense? Okay. And that's where the quarterback competition comes in, and we discuss, kind of take the backdrop of the quarterback situation here. Austin Mack has been in the system for multiple years. He's been with Grubb, DeBoer multiple years. Okay. You're looking at a very safe bet, safe pick with Austin Mack.
So I'm going to argue with you, Kels. Yeah. Go ahead. No, and the only reason I say that is because at this point, Keelon's been in the system this is his second year. He knows the system at this point.
Mack has been in it for 3 years.
So if you want
a year before that at Washington.
Do you want a safe bet, or do you want to win a national championship?
Well, that's the deal. You can take the safe bet, or you can go with the biggest ceiling, which would be Keelon Russell.
I will try to play Switzerland here and be the middleman. If you were someone who enjoyed those buildings out in the desert, and you were going to go take some of your hard-earned money, does either one of these quarterbacks, if they told you right now, Austin Mack is not just the starting quarterback, Austin Mack is the quarterback every game all season, and then on the other hand, they told you, Pops, Keelon Russell is the starting quarterback and he's the quarterback for the entire season, does it change how you feel about the betting odds as far as the over-under on win totals, the point scoring in the game? Or are we picking between two very good quarterbacks that are going to be, because the game plan is going to change a little bit with each one. I don't think it necessarily changes the overall outcome of the season.
I think you could see maybe a game or two. You can sway it in either directions from, how many wins and losses they'll actually come from. If you were to pick Keelon Russell, I think Austin Mack, you're going to sit and you're going to lock yourself in at a certain number of wins. With Keelon, I think you have maybe a 2 to 3 game differential there.
2 to 3? I'd say 1 maybe.
Dude, that's insane. If you think about
hold on. That could swing in the difference between, okay, of course, Austin Mack, you kind of know what you're getting, but Keelon, you could see an outside run turn into a 70-yard run, touchdown, okay, wins us the ball game. But you could also see some inexperience come through, a pick there, a fumble here, a sack here, just the inexperience peeking through for Keelon Russell, or the type of, the type of differential level for Keelon Russell to actually go up and make a big play that Austin Mack might not can make because he doesn't have the arm strength.
Okay, hear me out here. So Austin Mack has experienced it what?
Austin Mack has experience in the system that he's running.
So what you're telling me, he's experienced is setting the bench, because that's what he's done for the last 2-3 years. Okay. So
did Mac Jones.
I'm just saying though, it's not like he's got experience. It's not, the only experience he's got is sitting. Like he came out in the game last year in the Rose Bowl.
He's really good at holding a clipboard.
I'm just saying. Okay. So let's put the best athlete out there, and let him do his thing, man.
Okay, wait. I got to go back to this 2 to 3 game difference here.
Right. Okay.
You realize that's the difference between everyone who listens to sports talk radio in or around the state of Alabama pouring gas and lighting the match themselves. Yeah,
but we're also discussing a conference that is head-to-head every year, beating each other up. Okay, so putting all that into an effort, right? If you're sitting here in the ACC discussing this, it's not that big of a difference. If you're sitting here in the new Pac-12, it's not that much of a difference, right? Because you just don't have the competition feeding into each other within the SEC, right? So when you're discussing this, you also have to factor in how close is the Tennessee game going to be, how close is the Georgia game going to be, how close is the LSU game going to be. Okay,
but hold on, let me finish the line here. 2 to 3 games is the difference between lighting Kellen DeBoer's chair on fire and us holding up a trophy.
100% is in the SEC. Kels, I just think you're exaggerating a little bit on the 2 to 3 games. I think it may be a 1-game swing, maybe a big game like Georgia where you do want that upperclassman out there, but when you're talking a 2 to 3 game swing, I'm like Richie, 2 to 3 game swing might mean us losing to Kentucky at Kentucky on week 2, right? Because of inexperience, right? But 1-game swing, maybe. Not 2 to 3. 2 to 3 is bottom of the SEC.
No, I understand that.
Okay, given what obviously last time I checked, Pops has a full-time job. Kelsey has a full-time job. So do I. So I haven't been spending the last 3 years just in Tuscaloosa in the locker room and everything.
And watching Mack ride the bench.
Yeah, and watching Mack. Like, I did get to see that on TV. Now, now, are we legitimately? We're talking about a guy who's 3 years in the program.
Yeah.
And is probably a very good quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
Versus a younger guy, not by that much, a year and a half ish younger guy, who could be one of the absolute phenoms on a football field. Are we really talking about? I know that. Listen, I understand that we are on a sports talk radio program in North Alabama. The biggest, most important thing on the planet is who's going to be the quarterback at the University of Alabama, and if they don't do good, who's going to be the next coach at the University of Alabama. I completely understand that.
Yeah, we could do a show each week on that.
Yeah, and if we get bored, we can talk about who's a better basketball player, MJ or LeBron. Like it's it's one of those topics that it's going to mean something to the vast majority of the audience. But I feel like we as the fans have gotten this thing in our head where we have to make this decision, and it's going to come down to DeBoer, who's done a really great job with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
See past history, like I think he's had
Penix is your list.
Well, not just Penix. You had Alabama's last quarterback,
Milroe, Ty Simpson.
Before Ty,
would be Milroe.
Milroe, who got drafted in the NFL.
Okay, he won a Super Bowl.
Technically, he did win a Super Bowl ring.
Hey, man,
he won a Super Bowl. Okay.
I'm a quarterback winning the Super Bowl.
Ty could get drafted. He's done a good job with quarterbacks. I'm not worried about him picking the right one.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. Guys, we got a big day here in Alabama, not just in North Alabama. A lot of stuff going on all across the state, but we do have to take a quick break here. Guys, hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up on that poll real quickly here. Who do you think has got the edge right now, Keelon Russell or Austin Mack for the University of Alabama and their quarterback situation? We're a couple weeks away from fall camp, a little bit away from fall camp. But leading into next season, who do you think is going to start at quarterback for the Tide? This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Richie sitting to the left of me, and of course, Pops on the opposite cam from us. If you want to hit us up, you can do so. You can hit us up on Facebook at Off the Bench. Just hit us up through there, or on YouTube. Hit us up in the comments section right on here at Off the Bench CFB Show on YouTube. If you want to hit us up there, we got a poll out there right now following Bama's 8A game. Who is the starting quarterback of the Crimson Tide? You can pick Mack or Russell. Who do you think is going to be starting for the Tide in week 1 for the next national championship season for the Crimson Tide? But Richie, I know you had some news that you were talking about here in the break, and me and Pops have not heard this one. Can you explain it?
So speaking of week 1 and who's going to be the starting quarterback, a proposed NCAA rule change amid standardizing college football could force the University of Alabama, and I'm assuming that means pretty much everybody else, to adjust their future schedule, specifically the 2027 and 28 season. The proposed rule from the Oversight Committee has proposed that beginning the 2027 season, everything would begin what we currently call week 0. So it would actually start the week prior to Labor Day,
which we don't have a game week 0, right?
Right. So everything would be moved up. It would, according to this, it would move like 2027. The Marshall game would move from September 4th to the 28th. To August 28th, and then the 2028 season, the matchup with the mighty Georgia State would move from September 2nd to August 26th.
So, in other words, is this actually happening?
It is a proposed rule by the NCAA Oversight Committee.
So
I love it.
This is the kind of, because this is what a lot of people have been saying over the last year or two, how to quote fix college football is to move everything and start the season a week earlier.
Yep.
Make week 0 week 1. Perfectly fine with me. I'm in celebration of that. Let's get more football in here. But what it also does is create another bye week, if I'm not wrong.
It would not.
It would not. It brings up the championship games. It puts
the proposed.
Okay, so this is completely moving everything up. So you don't have an extra.
The proposed change would start the season sooner, and a drive-by needed to accommodate for the expanded, longer postseason.
Oh well, here we go, Richie, and we're 32 football teams in a tournament. Fall madness.
Ooh, fall madness.
It would be winter madness.
Nope.
Can we get one shining moment at the end?
We do not need to go above 16.
But you know what you also get, though? I mean, just what Alabama fans love, sitting in a stadium in the sun in August in Alabama.
The only thing better than that is sitting in a stadium in April when it's going to start raining about 9:15 tonight.
We'll be with you with the rain too, because it's going to hit all of West Alabama, it seems like.
Because I would have to imagine that kickoff on an late August day is going to be like
90
noon kickoff, and it's 95 in the shade.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, it's not that much different than August 26th and September 2nd are not that big of a difference.
It's in Alabama you get 5 seasons in August, and that's the 5th season in Alabama. It's just so hot here.
It is
humid.
All right, guys. Just an update for the poll. If you want to vote on that, you can do so in the comment section here on YouTube. Just pick 1 or 2, 1 being Mack, 2 being Russell, and that'll get your answer in here for the poll. Okay, so back to Alabama A-Day. There's more things than just the quarterback battle going on. Okay, Really? Yes.
Yeah, man.
Really?
There's other things.
Yes, really. There is, right? Okay, so
because no one else is talking about anything other than who's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's true. They're not. That race is very tight right now. Nobody really knows who's got the edge. At the end of the day, Grubb is probably going to decide late in fall camp.
I don't think it's Grubb.
I think Grubb is.
You think Grubb makes that final decision?
Yes.
I think Grubb has a very hard pull on it, but I think DeBoer is the one who actually makes the decision.
I think if we're still sitting under Sheridan, that DeBoer would have the decision. But if we're not under Sheridan, he's in Michigan State now. He's not even the quarterback coach anymore. Okay, so now you have Grubb in the situation who Grubb has literally been the enforcing of the offense for DeBoer for the last how long besides the year he's in Seattle?
I'll give you this. Grubb is the wife in this scenario. DeBoer's the one who actually gets to tell the kids where we're going on vacation.
You think Miss Terry didn't decide all that?
But no, that's what I'm saying. DeBoer's the one who gets to tell the kids where we're going on vacation. But Grubb's the one who told DeBoer.
So Grubb gets the decision. DeBoer gets the spotlight.
Yeah, we'll just blame everything on Grubb because we know how much Alabama fans love Grubb.
That a lot of people don't.
That's my
Last
point
year,
with that
he was
comment.
beloved, and he came in, and not a lot of people liked him.
If they don't win the next 96 consecutive football games, they're going to call for him
Grubb's
to be fired.
out.
Yeah.
That's it. That's right.
95-1. Nope, gotta go.
So Kelsey, I know you got a short. This segment is short, but hey, man, let's spend some time talking about this offensive line and the defensive front that the Alabama's defense did on last Saturday.
Oh, of course we will.
Yeah,
the Tide they looked good on defense. I like the way they showed the offensive line. We're going to get a little more into it later here. We don't got that much time here, but we talk about the secondary depth. And so many things going on with the Tide. I know the Mercer kid has kind of jumped up and he's kind of pushing Bray Hubbard to another position. But there's so much with the Tide going on right now with the Alabama 8A game. We're going to cover all the news here right on Off the Bench here. There has been no Gopher sighting since the past week. We'll see what we get in that department. If the Gopher is over there or not, we'll see if the Golden Gophers want to show up today. But this is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I am your host, Kelsey Huffine. Co-host Richie sitting to the left of me, and Pops right across the camera from us. Okay, we've talked about Alabama A-Day, the big day that's going on here in the state of Alabama. But, of course, we have the NFL Draft coming up this Thursday. We're kind of discussing who are the sleepers of this draft? What are we looking forward to most on the draft day? And the possibility of maybe only one quarterback being taken in the draft. And on top of that, maybe only one Bama player going in the first round.
Which is, so I did a little research. The last time only one quarterback was taken in the first round, which right now, unless somebody late falls absolutely in love with him or somebody decides to trade up, this looks like where we're headed right now. 2022, Kenny Pickett was the only quarterback taken. Say what you will about Mr. Pickett. 13, E.J. Manuel was the only quarterback taken.
I forgot about E.J. Manuel, man.
1996, 0 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
We're not going to have that this year. Mendoza's almost a lock for the number one pick. Ty Simpson's on that kind of edge tier, kind of like Lamar Jackson was, and Lamar Jackson got traded up for in the first round by Baltimore.
Is Ty a second-round pick?
Obviously, yeah. So I think there's no shot that he doesn't go second round.
Yeah, he'll go second round. I mean, the Jets have like another 2 picks in the second round. The Steelers could, they need a quarterback. I could see the Cardinals with I think they have like the second or third pick in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. Might be it's somewhere up there. Might be the 4th pick. Ty could be or early second round, but right now it looks like Mr. Proctor, the touchdown scoring machine that he is, when
I think about Proctor now, the other thing, we were talking about the Gruden quarterback camp in the break here.
Love that show.
And we're discussing, Ty Simpson talking about a lot of stuff that happened this year with John Gruden. And what did he call Proctor? And it went over Gruden's head completely.
I didn't hear it.
I don't remember either.
I'm gonna have to say it in the break because I don't know if it's actually on air friendly.
Okay, well
we'll discuss it here in the break and see if it's on air friendly and see how it is in that department. But for me, for the draft, I'm looking at some sleepers in this year's draft and thinking, why are these guys not ranked higher? At one point, they were going to be this high, and whatever happened this year, I'm still surprised they're not as high as they were. One being D'Angelo Pons. If you remember D'Angelo Pons for Indiana, he's ranked as a second-round pick right now. Pons was the guy that had the opening interception against Texas Tech, if I remember right, for the Indiana Hoosiers. And right now he's expected to go in the second round. But I really think this guy should be a first-round pick. This guy has competed at all high levels his entire career from Indiana. Of course, he played at James Madison under Coach Signetti. In high school, he was guarding Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was a track star, all these things, yet he's still a second-round pick. I'm surprised on that one. And then there's another guy that I really think is going to, get to y'all's brains here and think, why is this guy going as late as he is? Projected 5th-round pick, Harold Perkins Jr.
Wow.
Remember Harold Perkins Jr.? LSU, phenomenal freshman.
LSU.
Phenomenal freshman, and he's dropped to 5.
Well, I mean, it kind of shows.
I think it talks to the talent level in college football, okay? But I also think this, when you get to the NFL and in college, we sit there and we like to talk about quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, the big playmakers, who scores a touchdown. But if you ever look at draft day in the NFL,
it's offensive
line. It's offensive linemen, baby. It's defensive edge rushers.
Think about the linebackers, how much they've affected the game the last couple of years. Think about picks with this, okay? Of course, you got Keelon Mack.
Yeah,
Mack was a surprising star coming out of Buffalo. He ended up being one of the best linebackers in the league in the time he was playing. And then on top of that, Parsons, another guy who had been traded up for, like he didn't play his senior year of college because of COVID. He sat out and went and played with the Cowboys, and he could have been one of the best players to ever wear the star until he was traded away to the Packers.
And then got hurt.
He got hurt
3 minutes later.
The amount of effect that linebackers have in the NFL, it's surprising that they're not guys who go in the first round. Defensive ends happen all the time with guys like
I think there's
Garrett, right?
I think there's a good answer for that. You could be a great linebacker,
right?
But if the best way for me to describe this, the quarterback on the offensive side can only be as good as his offensive line is.
But Will Anderson, now he's the richest defensive player in the league now, and of all time.
Right,
Roll Tide, Will Anderson.
But what I'm saying is the linebacker is only as good as his defensive line is, because if his defensive line can't hold up, and he's having to tackle 5 yards down the field every time, nobody knows who he is.
Another tackle.
And that's
another tackle.
That's one of the biggest issues that the Cowboys had with Parsons. I think that's a lot of reasons he was traded away. They traded him for a defensive lineman in Clark.
And a first round pick, and another first round draft pick.
They needed somebody to fill those holes on the defensive line, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons he was traded. But I don't think it takes away that linebackers maybe, if not is, the most important position on defense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the quarterback of the defense.
Right, yeah.
They're usually, especially under the Saban era, they were probably, if not the second smartest guy on the football field.
Yeah, they called the defense.
I mean, look at Reggie Ragland, look at Tim Williams, look at all these players for Alabama, like you're talking about, right?
Like Nick went out and got strong, tough, fast guys who were just as smart as they were fast and strong, because they are running the defense. And Nick was the defense, and so for him to be able to hand pick a guy that's going to run his defense, we joked in the last segment about who's going to pick the quarterback for next season. Nick was the one picking
on defense,
his defensive guy.
Yeah,
his guy with the little green circle on the back of the helmet that he gets to talk to while between plays. And yes, the offensive coordinator, typically, Kiffin and so on, they were the one who had a heavier hand in the pick of the quarterback. So you're talking about a guy who runs your defense. And last time I checked, 50% of, I guess not necessarily 50%, but 50% of football is defense.
So back to the draft, Kelsey. We're talking about you brought up the Cowboys and Parsons, and here's where I think could be a sleeper. Okay, as much as I love my Cowboys, okay, but Dallas has got 2 picks in that first round, right? Why not pick your quarterback, okay, on that second pick to be the heir replacement for Dak?
Pops wants Ty Simpson.
I do. I do. Or Caleb Downs.
Look, here's the thing.
But you're not going to get Caleb.
The arguable issue on that, right, okay, is Pops has had a history of wanting to trade up and grab quarterback.
Yeah,
I want to go back to Baker Mayfield.
Oh man,
how'd that work out?
I wanted
Baker's fine now, but he didn't work out with Cleveland.
Well, I wanted Baker bad.
That's because it's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland, right? There's issues to be had in Cleveland. I think there was other guys in there too that Pops was in love with.
I loved Colt McCoy. It's Texas boys, man. I don't know what it was about that area, that geographic area, and staying a Cowboy. But my point with this is, right, if you think about what the Cowboys gave up, with Parsons leaving, and what they gained with Parsons leaving is another first-round draft pick. So they got 2 in the first round this year. Okay, they better get a damn splash name. Okay, they better get a superstar with that freaking second pick after you gave up Parsons.
Well, you 100% have to. If you don't, it's a busted trade.
Clark, I just
good, but he's on the wrong side of 30 now. Okay, so you have to get a star guy with one of those 2 picks to at least make it stay relevant in this situation. Caleb Downs, I think, would be a perfect example of that if he falls that 4 or you trade up and grab him.
Yeah, there's no chance he's still on the board at 12.
We say that a lot.
I think Cowboys are 12 and 20, if I remember right.
Something like that.
There is no chance Caleb is still on the board at 12.
Yep.
It would be surprising if he was, but you go back to that second pick.
They could get Caden Proctor at 12.
I think you will see that. A lot of times you see the Cowboys, they go BPA, and a lot of times it's an offensive lineman. That's what happened with Booker last year going to the Cowboys.
If you really think about what the Cowboys have done successful in the draft, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jerry Jones and his son and Steven and all of those guys in that draft room. However, they always seem to put together a heck of an offensive line. Okay. But where we struggle is on defense.
Right.
Okay. And we give up the most yards in the league and the pass defense and everything else. But okay, you've got an opportunity to reconnect Booker and Proctor. the left side of that Alabama offensive line would be pretty dang good at Dallas.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. We're discussing right now the possibilities of what the Cowboys could do with their 2 first-round picks coming up in this year's draft on Thursday. But, of course, we've discussed a lot about A-game. We're going to get that in discussion a little bit here in the second hour of Alabama's A-Day game and how that went down between Keelon Russell and Austin Mack. I'm going backward here.
Ty Simpson coming back?
Oh, start the rumors, baby.
You can only wish, right?
Start the rumors.
He's got a year left of eligibility.
He does, yes.
But we're going to be discussing a little bit of what Sarkisian had to say about the wasted position in this era of rev share coming up next year on the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelty Huffine. Co-host Richie sitting to the left of me and Pops on the opposite camera to us. Guys, if you want to follow along, continue following along into the show after we're going to end YouTube here at the end of the hour. But you can also go over to iHeartRadio and listen to us on there at 7:30 a.m. Jocks Huntsville, or if you're local here in North Alabama, you can hit us up on 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM Jocks Huntsville over on the radio side. So we were discussing real quickly. Sark has a little bit of opinion on the rev share on how it's going to be used in this new era of college football. He does think there is a wasted position within recruiting when spending money with NIL for freshman recruits. That position specifically being offensive linemen and the time it takes to develop him. He thinks the sweet spot for offensive linemen for development is 70 snaps. So that developmental side, it's hard to give them that, quote, dead money is how Sarkisian's putting it, to help to get them on the team to develop him. That's more the reason why he's been going after really experienced players through the portal. But I'd also say in that department as well that a good offensive lineman needs a couple of years to gel. So is it wasted dead money? I don't think in the end, there's a part of this I disagree with Sarkisian saying it's dead money, because I think for a really good gelled together offensive line, they need 2 years to really get established with themselves and be able to trust each other on that front. We look at good offensive linemen over the past couple of years. That Indiana team last year, those offensive linemen have been together for years.
Right.
Back to the time at James Madison and then to Indiana.
I could see where you're going with that. The only thing, if you've got great, you've been a great center, you've been a great left tackle or left guard, you're gonna be great no matter what color jersey you're wearing. I think one thing that we're gonna have to get closer to, especially when you talk about offensive lineman, what he's referring there is, that as a freshman, hey, they're not really worth a whole lot in the NIL,
right?
In the big picture of how much money I'm spending.
You're not going to get
team.
their return on investment
so
immediately like you would want to see with your
they're not
money
scoring
going
touchdowns.
in.
I mean, they're not, they're not the flashy, showy guys. They're the guys in the trenches, man.
So could you come up with some sort of system where it's a contract, if you may, that, all right, here, your freshman year, I'm going to pay you $20,000. And if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to get a bonus. Your sophomore year, we're going to pay you $40,000. And if you do X, Y, and Z, we're going to give you a bonus. But your junior year, we're going to pay you $100. And if you come back for your senior year, we're going to pay you $150.
Are you taking this money as literal, or are you just throwing numbers out there?
No, I'm taking it as literal. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
for what Texas is recruiting, you're talking about a 2, maybe 3-star recruit. For what they're recruiting with their 4- and 5-star offensive linemen, you're talking in the millions.
Right. Well, okay. maybe for them it's a different number, but
I'm just
saying, I'm stair stepping it up, because I'm thinking that the top person last year was $4 million on their
roster.
Their roster,
right?
So obviously I'm not going to pay every offensive lineman $4 million, but could I say, all right, hey, your junior year is $3 million, and if you come back for your senior year, you're guaranteed 4.5.
Hey, what do you get if you catch a ball out of the backfield or run the football as an offensive lineman?
You get drafted in
the first round with lots of money on the line.
7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We're going to take a quick break on the radio side on YouTube. We are done for the day. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the show, help us out a little bit. This has been the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back.
Agreements.